Hi everyone, welcome to Biologically. In this video, we are going to discuss about the animal tissue. So before going to the topic, we'll see the basic definition of a tissue. The tissue, a organized group of cells, similar in structure, okay, function, and their origin. In some tissues, the cells may be dissimilar in structure, okay, no need to be similar in some cases, and with a function, okay, but they must be from a similar origin. Okay, this is what is the meaning of a tissue. So the word tissue was coined by a scientist called Bichat. The study of a tissue is called as histology. Histo means tissue, logy means study. Histology word was given by a scientist called Mayer, and father of the histology is Bichat. Study of a tissue is also called as microscopic anatomy. The main reason is that the tissue were studied under the microscope, and we deal with all the aspect in cellular level. Based on the function and the location, tissues are classified into 4 types, which means based on their function, what they do and where they are located, based on that, or else from where they are originated from, based on that it is divided into 4 types. The first type of tissue, animal tissue, is epithelial tissue, and the second one, connective tissue, and muscular tissue and nervous tissue. And the origin is nothing but during the embryonic development, the organism must possess these 3 germ layers. The outer one we call it as ectoderm, inner one we call it as endoderm, and the middle one we call it as mesoderm. These tissues are evolved or else originated from these layers. Okay, the epithelial tissue, it covers the internal and external organ, it is originated in all these 3 germ layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Whereas the connective tissue, basically the skeletal system and your transportation system, okay, a transport system, is originated from mesoderm, that is a middle germ layer. Whereas the muscular tissue developed from mesoderm, and nervous tissue is originated from ectoderm. And the function we will study in detail as we go through each tissue. Epithelial tissue. The word epithelium is composed of 2 words. Epi means upon, thelio means nipple. A literal meaning is grows. Okay, a tissue which grows upon the other tissue is called as epithelium. Epithelium is also known as epithelial tissue, which covers the external or internal surfaces. It covers the external surface or internal surface. Cells are either single layer or else multi-layered. In epithelial tissue, the layer may be single layer or else it can be multi-layered. These cells are compactly arranged and there is no intracellular matrix, but in some of the books it is given as a less intracellular matrix. That means the substance which is present in between the cells, we call it as a matrix. The lowermost layer always rests upon non-living basement membrane. Okay, the basement membrane is the membrane upon which the lowermost layer of the epithelial tissue rests upon. So meanwhile you can see the photo which is showing the basement membrane in the tissue. The cells are capable of division and regeneration throughout the life. That means if you get a cut in your hand, it get cured because it can regenerate. So this process continues throughout the life. The few epithelial tissue, the cells of this epithelial tissue have the division ability and regeneration capacity throughout the life of an organism. The free surface of the cells may have fine air-like structure called cilia, or else they have the grooves or else microvilli, as it is shown in the picture. And you need to know that the epithelial tissue is non-vascularized. The main meaning of non-vascularized is they don't have the capillaries. Okay, they don't have the intracellular matrix or else the space, and the blood vessels such as the capillaries cannot enter there, and even they don't have the lymph vessels also. But they have a, what do you call, there is a basement membrane which is highly permeable to the nutrients and gases, which provide the required nutrients and the gases such as oxygen for the respiration. It also provides a surface area for absorption, excretion and transportation of molecules. It is of two types. One is simple and stratified. The epithelial tissue is classified into two types. One we call it as simple epithelium tissue and stratified epithelium tissue. The simple epithelium tissue, it is composed of only one layer. Cells are arranged end to end in a single layer. Simple epithelium. You can see in the picture. It is usually present as a lining for body cavities, ducts and tube. For example, around the alveoli, that means the alveoli is made up of the simple squamous epithelium. Alveoli is made up of, the walls of the alveoli is made up of simple squamous epithelium. Meanwhile, the capillaries, they are also made up of a single layer of epithelial tissue. Stratified or compound epithelium, which means the compound epithelium consists of two or more cell layers. You can see in the picture, the cells are arranged in layers as a protective function as it does in the skin. In our skin, it is multi-layered epithelial tissue. That means it is a stratified epithelium. Our skin is made up of stratified or compound epithelium. Hence, it protects our skin. On the basis of their function, simple epithelium is classified into three types: squamous, cuboidal and columnar. The squamous epithelium, it is a flattened cell, irregular boundaries arranged from to form a thin layer. In the picture, from the surface view, they appear polygon. They also known as pavement epithelium. Another name of the squamous epithelium is pavement epithelium because of the resemblance of compact structure to tiles on floor. As you have seen the tiles floor, you can not see there is a, what you call that one, gap in between. So it is completely tightly arranged. So that gives the resemblance of the compact structure to the tiles on floor. So where and all it is located in our body. It forms a delicate lining of cavities like mouth. That means the lining of the mouth, or the delicate lining of the mouth, is also made up of simple squamous epithelium, which can be easily damaged. And the esophagus can also be easily damaged. And the nose, inside the nose, the linings are made up of the epithelial tissue. And the pericardium is nothing but outer wall of, that means the surrounding wall of an heart is also known as a pericardium. That is also made up of simple squamous epithelium. As I told in the earlier, alveoli is also made up of the same, the simple squamous epithelium for the exchange of gases. So it also forms the lining of blood vessels. Maybe the blood vessel of the capillaries is made up of a thin layer of simple squamous epithelium. With the function of squamous epithelial tissue, they are involved in the function like a formation of a diffusion boundary. So diffusion boundary is nothing but, you can see in the picture, the alveoli, and the alveoli walls of the alveoli or else inner lining of alveoli is made up of a simple squamous epithelium, which helps in the exchange of gases easy exchange of the gases such as the carbon dioxide and oxygen. And it forms a covering of tongue and skin. It forms a covering of tongue and skin. That means it is both simple squamous as well as the compound squamous epithelium. It is also known as stratified epithelium. And in skin, squamous epithelium is arranged in many layers to prevent wear and tear. okay, which protect the skin from the external injuries, and it prevent as much as possible it can withstand with to its maximum. Okay, so next we will discuss about the cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium is a layer of cube cells. So you can see in the picture the cube cells as appear as a square in the section, but on free surface they appear hexagonal. Hexagonal to avoid the intracellular space, but inside they appears like a square. From the top or else from the free surface they appear like hexagonal to avoid the intracellular space. The location it found in the kidney tubules, thyroid, vesicles and glands. The gland also contains the same cuboidal epithelium, and thyroid vesicles also contains that one. So mostly these epithelial tissues, you need to know, they forms the lining of the organs, outer lining as well as inner lining, if it is hollow, inner lining of an organs. Okay, so then of organs, it forms the germinal epithelium in gonads. So the gonads means the sex organs. Okay, like a testis is a male gonad, so that also forms the germinal epithelium. It involved in absorption, excretion and secretion. So if you need to know about the absorption, if they are present in the walls of the intestine, that can, or else here it is given, kidney tubules, they help in selective reabsorption, and they also helps in the excretion. So excretion in the sense removal of waste material from the body of an organism, that is also called excretion. So in cellular level they perform the excretion. Okay, and the secretion it may be the exocrine, it may be from the exocrine gland or else from the endocrine gland. They perform the work of secretion, and it also provides mechanical support. Since the shape is cuboidal, it is actually a tough or else a stable shape to withstand with the injuries, and it can give the maximum support, mechanical support to the organ. The epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule in nephron. Okay, already you have studied the structure of a nephron. So PCT of a nephron of a kidney as a microvilli. You can see the structure of a microvilli here in this picture. Okay, microvilli has a folding on the surface, foldings on the surface. So that is present in PCT of nephron, as they help in the process of absorption. Microvilli is a finger-like projection, and they help in the absorption process. So next one is the columnar epithelium. As you know, columnar, you can see in the picture, columnar epithelium is a tall and slender cells. The nuclei are located at the base. That means you can see in the picture, the columnar epithelium has a nucleus at the bottom of the cell near to the basement membrane. The free surface have the microvilli. Microvilli means again it is a finger-like projection. It is given here. Microvilli are the finger-like projection, and they are present in the linings of stomach and intestine. As you have seen, the villi which is present in the small intestine, that has a finger-like projection, which helps in the absorption of the nutrients. They help in secretion and absorption, as it is written secretion, because you know the opening of the salivary gland is made up of the columnar epithelium, and most of the gland, exocrine gland lining is made up of the columnar epithelium. They help in secretion of the enzyme, and it also helps in the absorption in the intestine. Ciliated epithelium. This cuboidal or columnar epithelium, on whose surface fine hair-like protoplasmic outgrowth are present, that we call it as a ciliated epithelium. You can see in the picture, the cilia is arising from the the cell, cytoplasm of the cell, and they have the appearance of hair. Okay, and this lining lines in the body of nephrons. It lines the body of nephrons, trachea and the fallopian tube. They are found in the, what is the meaning of it lines the body of nephron and trachea and the fallopian tubes. They have the specialized function in the trachea, and they helps to remove the foreign materials from the trachea. Yes, and it is always moving, and so it wiggle and move the particles out. And even in the nephron also, and in fallopian tube also, because of the this ciliated columnar epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, they can move the cilia moves the egg cell from the fallopian tube to the uterus, and cilia moves the particle or mucus in a specific direction over epithelium. So this is also a point which is relevant to what I have told. The cilia moves the particle or mucus. So mostly the mucus is secreted by the glandular epithelium, mucus gland. Okay, so that moves the mucus in a specific direction over epithelium. This is also one of the function of a ciliated epithelium. Glandular epithelium, the cells are modified for secretion. Cells are modified for secretion. Main function of the glandular epithelium is the secretion. They may be columnar or else cuboidal, but not the squamous. You need to know that they are not the squamous epithelium, but they can be cuboidal or else columnar. Mostly columnar I prefer, so I guess. Okay, and unicellular, they are single and isolated glandular cells. They are single cell and isolated glandular cells, like the goblet cells of the alimentary canal. In the alimentary canal, we have the goblet cells which are single. So they can also be multicellular. If the single glandular epithelium example is a goblet cell, whereas the multicellular, they are the group of cell or else the cluster of a glandular cell, like the salivary gland. It is a group of cell which is secreting the saliva. Some glandular epithelium forms the lining of exocrine. Exocrine glands secrete the product through the ducts. Ducts in the sense through the the pipe or else tubes. These glands secretes saliva and mucus, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, and all other cell products. Okay, the exocrine gland secretes saliva, mucus, which is actually secreted inside the stomach wall or else intestinal wall. Okay, and even in the reproductive system, and also even in the trachea, nasal cavity. Okay, or else even in the trachea of respiratory system. The earwax is also secreted by the glands, exocrine glands. So the oil, it is secreted by the sebaceous gland, and the milk is secreted by a mammary gland, and the digestive enzymes are secreted by maybe the pancreas or else from the liver, or else even the walls of the stomach also contain the glands which can secrete the enzymes, and all other cell products are also the product of exocrine glands. The next is endocrine gland. They do not have any duct. Therefore, their product are hormones. So hormones are produced from endocrine gland, like GH, growth hormone, and LH, luteinizing hormone. All these organs, hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. So the glands secreted by that means the glandular epithelium. Okay, and so that make the way into the blood vessel. So the hormones are secreted into the blood vessel, or else directly into the bloodstream, and move to the target organs. So we will study about this one in control and coordination in the coming chapters.